The Chrono Cross Remastered was a thing because Square Enix, of all people, was concerned about preservation. Can you dig it? This is a very interesting topic for me personally because I love Chrono Cross. As a matter of fact, it's one of my all-time favorite video games as a child, and even now I still love this game. The remastered one, when it first launched, was a little bit not so great in terms of performance, but apparently they've patched it up and it's working a lot better now, which is good, 1 year later, mind you. But all the same, I saw this news article, I wanted to talk about it because Chrono Cross Remastered was literally done because Square Enix was afraid of this game going away of the dodo. They wanted this game to be preserved. And it's kind of one of those interesting things when you hear, because you always wonder how many of these big-time video game companies actually care about their games being preserved. Well, in this particular case, and in a conference and in a meeting, Square Enix and the representatives officially stated that they were concerned about this game not being playable for future generations to come. And they cited the PlayStation 3. Now, if you remember, the PlayStation 3 does in fact have the ability, even as of right now, temporarily at least for now, has the ability for you to go out and be able to play Chrono Cross on the PlayStation 3. Now, there was a time there a couple of years ago when they said they were going to do away with the store, and everybody was really sad about this and disappointed, so PlayStation ended up bringing back the store that you could use to buy classic games like Chrono Cross, like Legend of Dragoon, like Resident Evil 2 and 3, you know, all of those fun classic PlayStation 1 titles. But all the same, Square Enix officially said they were afraid that the service would no longer become available and that a lot of people wouldn't be able to play this game, so they went ahead and did a remastering for it. And when I hear this news and I stop and think about what Square Enix has done recently, it kind of makes a lot of sense and a lot of things are kind of adding up. For example, when you just look at their catalog of recent from the last year or two, I mean, they had Final Fantasy VIII get remastered, Tactics Ogre Reborn got a remake, Live Alive got a remake. I mean, there's been a handful of titles that were from the SNES or from the 90s that are getting either a remastered or a remake right now, and it kind of makes sense that Square is trying to preserve these titles and still try to find a way at the same time to make them profitable. And I think actually that's a pretty dang awesome and good thing. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that there are literally buttloads of remasters and remakes. Even this year, I can almost count a dozen remakes of video games. This game that I'm playing right now, I just found out, is a remake from a video game that came out in 2012. I had no idea until after I finished and beat this game. I love this game, by the way. But after I finished it, I went and did some research on this game just to get more information about it and discovered that it was a remake. But at the same time, this is exactly the reason why we do remasters and remakes, because it gives opportunity for other people that didn't have the chance to when the game first came out to play the game again, and to give the game a little bit of polish and make it look better or improve some of the issues that maybe the previous game had. And if people are so worried about games not being allocated enough to create new and engaging IPs or new games from the franchise or series, you don't have to worry about that. There are dozens and dozens of games that are released every month that are new and engaging IPs. I mean, take a look at Square Enix even. They just released in December Dragon Quest Treasures, which was an entirely different game from the Dragon Quest universe, and then they released Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, which is a Final Fantasy rhythm game, and it is absolutely amazing, and I wish more people would be willing to try it. They also released Octopath Traveler 2, another big budget title that unfortunately doesn't seem to be doing so well, but I'll have to maybe just do a video on that. But all the same, I mean, that's just 3 titles in the last 3 months that are entirely new games that Square Enix has done recently. So if they want to remaster Tactics Ogre or remake one of these games or bring back Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which they did in December, let them. They clearly have the money, and they're clearly trying to both preserve their old flagship titles as well as bring us new, interesting concepts. Seriously, Theatrhythm is awesome. You guys need to get on that. Not to mention a new Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in June, and that is definitely a big boy budget. So you don't have to worry about these companies, especially if they're big time companies like EA, Activision, Blizzard, Square Enix, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. You know what I'm talking about. You don't have to worry about these companies not dedicating all of their resources into making new and exciting projects. If they want to allocate their resources into video game preservation, hey, I am all for it. I love the fact that Xbox, for example, has the backwards compatibility feature, and the fact that I can play flagship Xbox titles, Xbox 360, Xbox One titles, now all on my Xbox Series console is just something that's just amazing, and I love Microsoft for doing that. I hope companies continue to try to find ways to preserve these games, and yes, I will absolutely pay the $40, $50, $60, $20 price tags, whatever they are charging, if it's a game I know and if it's a game I love, because I want to see other people have the opportunity to play these games as well. I am Bradley Overrated, out like a trout, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.